What's up, guys, and welcome back to another collab video. And God bless you, whoever came across this. And today I'm in another collab video with my boy Gavin here.
Yo, what's up?
And today we're going to talk about Joseph in Egypt, the salvation and redemption that he went through in his life.
Now, before we start, I'm going to credit Vintage Church TX for these notes, and I did not make these. Go check out their channel, Vintage Church DX or TX. My bad. Anyways, let's get started, guys.
Oh, now this time I have 100%.
Bro, we tried earlier. We ran out of battery and we had to restart the video. Okay, let's start. Section 1: Jacob's wives and sons. We're gonna do point 1: Jacob's marriages. Genesis 29 through 28, or 29 verse 28. 28. 28. 28. All right. And Jacob did so. He finished with the week with Leah, and then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife.
Which both of Jacob's wives was Laban and Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Now in the next verse we're gonna see. I'm pretty sure the next verse we're gonna see that Jacob's gonna love Rachel more than Leah.
Mm-hmm.
So in Genesis 31.
Mm-hmm. In Genesis 29 verse 31, when the Lord saw that Leah was not loved, he enabled her to conceive, but Rachel remained childless. Now, I'm going to go a little bit off script here. Let's go to 15:14 all the way. This isn't even on here, but I did this on my own accord, my own research. James 2:1. My brothers and sisters, believers in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ, must not show favoritism. And Jacob showed favoritism to Rachel. And since but God favored Leah because she was faithful, even though Jacob didn't love her. So that's why she was able to bear children. All right. Next, we're going to move on to point 2, the birth of his sons. Then we're going to go to Genesis 30. Bro. Genesis 30, verse 22. Yeah.
I'll read it. I'll read it.
All right, you go. Go ahead.
Then God remembered Rachel. He listened to her and enabled her to conceive. Also,
and Genesis 30, verse 24. She named him Joseph and said, "May the Lord add to me another son."
So that's when Joseph was born.
So Rachel, God heard Rachel's pleas, and Rachel had begged God to give her a child. And God always listens, and He hears your prayers all the time, you see. But when He answers His prayer, it's not on your time, it's on His time. And His time is perfect. So patience is key when asking for something in your life.
Guys, he said it. Also, you might not like the prayer that you're waiting for might not actually come until later, because God decides at what time you're supposed to have the time, or you're supposed to Him answer that prayer. Or you're supposed to have the things that you're supposed to be praying for. But keep praying, because the more you ask Him, the more likely you're going to have that prayer answered. He listens.
Dang, we're faster than last time. 3 minutes and we're already almost on section 2.
My boy, that's good.
We're on section 2. Joseph's special robe. Genesis.
No,
my bad. I'm tweaking out. Section 2. Joseph, the favored son. Now the first point is going to talk about Joseph's special robe. We're going to flip to Genesis 37, verse 3 through 4.
I got it.
All right, read it.
Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him.
You see, resentment is the root of a lot of evil in this world. Resentment and jealousy, specifically. Jealousy, you should not feel jealous, or as Angel said in the last time, You should not compare yourself to others. And
Corinthians.
yep. And this time,
want me to say it?
yeah.
Want me to say it? Don't compare yourself to other people, just like Gavin just said right now, because God gave you this life for a reason. You should be glad that you have this life. Also, you should not favor a person because God doesn't favor. No?
So there's this song I heard about. I heard recently. I can't remember the name of it, but it talks about how.
Go search it up, bro.
I know. I sold.
It's fine though, but go.
It talks about how there's always going to be a higher high in your life, like getting that new PC or the new game that just came out, or whatever. You're always going to want to chase something better or something more. And sometimes it's not about chasing something. It's not about chasing physical things. You should be chasing God and not just physical things. Yeah. And if you're focused on the material things of this world and not your relationship with God, then you need to rethink your process.
It's all about Jesus.
With all due respect.
It's all about Jesus, my boy.
Now we're gonna move on to section. Wait.
Genesis 37.
Yeah. 37.
Is Joseph's
37:8. Yeah, point 2, Joseph's brothers resent him. Genesis 37. Yeah, let's go to Genesis 37:8.
His brothers said to him, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he has said. Now, his dream was actually his revelation to be a prophet, which we're going to call later, to be the ruler of Egypt later.
And of the family.
And the brothers, they hated him for it. You should not hate your brother and sister just because they have a so-called better revelation than you. No, that we're all doing it for a cause. We're all doing it for Jesus Christ. You should actually celebrate with them, not condemn them. Did Jesus condemn? No. Did Jesus God say no?
Yeah.
Just like like what evil, man? Like just come on, do what Jesus did.
Instead of feeling jealousy, you could aspire to reach, say someone and your brother in Christ is in a step further than you in life. Instead of being jealous of that, you could aspire to reach that step in life. Anyways, let's move on to Genesis 37:11. Which says, his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. You see, unlike his brothers who were resentful and hateful, his father knew that Joseph could be having dreams that mean something, as he did on that rock when he had the dream to the stairway to heaven. I can't remember which chapter, but yeah. I also should have had time to look that up.
But the reason Jacob actually favor his son is because he was human. Now Jacob is not Jesus. He of course he's gonna favor somebody because he's human. We all fall short. So that's the only thing that Jacob did wrongly in this situation, unlike other wrong things that he did according to the Bible.
Another reason I like to think Joseph favored Jacob favored Joseph is because Joseph was the only son born to him from Rachel.
Exactly.
Even though it's the reason it lists is because it was born to him at his oldest when he was oldest. I also think there could be some other factors playing, like the one I just listed. So
no, at least it doesn't say that Jacob doesn't love Joseph, his brother. No, he loves every single one of them.
Now let's go to
My
section.
favorite is Joseph.
Yeah, let's go to section 3. Joseph's dreams, a prophetic future. The first point says, first dream, sheaves blowing. Genesis 37, 7 through 8.
It's not blowing, it's bowing.
Gross. I'm done. I'm done with this. Anyways. Genesis 37, 7 through 8. Which says, crap.
We were binding. You want me to read it?
I'll read it this time.
Okay.
We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it.
His brothers?
Yeah, that's right. His brother said to him, "Do you intend to rule over us? Will you actually rule over us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Before we give insight on that, let's go on to the second dream. Sun and moon and stars. Genesis 37, 9 through 10.
I'm there.
All right, read it.
Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. "Listen," he said, "I had another dream, and this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his cover kept the matter in mind.
the matter in mind.
I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, like a
insight.
little like dungeon crawler like narrator voice. You know. Anyways,
You want insight or I do insight?
you can do the insight.
So a prophetic creature. So the dreams, again, like I said, were him being a prophet and being the ruler of Egypt. That's why it says bow down to Joseph. Even though, you know, Joseph himself was faithful to God. So that's why he's being the ruler of Egypt later on. Because if you're faithful to God, of course he's gonna reward you. But don't expect the reward as well. You know, do it to please him. Don't expect the reward from him. Because the gift is eternal life. That's the ultimate reward. But we don't earn heaven. We were gifted heaven.
Another thing is, of course, the sun and moon and stars won't actually bow to him. That's not going to be real. But it was more hinting towards how the second dream was more hinting towards Christ, the coming of Christ. Now the sun, moon, and stars will bow down to him. Whereas the sheaves bowing, the first dream, was more directed towards Joseph himself. So that's at least what I think.
Yeah, that's what Gavin interprets and I interpret.
Leave it down in the comments if you think differently.
Yeah, I think differently. Or actually, maybe both of them, maybe from Jesus, because you know she's bowing down to Jesus. Because then Joseph is like representing. You know, he's leading the way for Jesus. You know, because it did lead the way. Because the Israelites then went to Moses, and the Exodus, and then so. The Bible's a love story. Section 4, Joseph sold into slavery. The first point is brothers plotting against Joseph. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Bruh. Genesis 37, 23 to 24. Read it. Go ahead. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the ornamental robe he was wearing, and they took him and threw him into the cistern. The cistern was empty. There was no water in it.
What? There was no water in it? I'm just kidding. Poor Joseph. He didn't have any water in that hole. Anyways, to think you get that jealous just to throw your
own brother, your blood and sweat.
As I said before, jealousy has been making people jealousy has been going around this world so long, and it's been making people do terrible things like this.
And in this day, in this time, I want to add it to that. In this generation, if you want to call it, in this last times, there's gonna be a lot more jealousy than today. Because even though you might not see it, they have it in their hearts, and God knows their heart. So as long as you have it in your heart, that's good.
Joseph sold to Ishmaelites. Genesis 37, 28 and 36. It's not through because of that comma. You got to be big brain, bro. You got to be big brain.
You want to read 28 or you want to read 36?
I'll read 28.
Okay.
Where is it? Hold up. Am I on the right one? Yep. Yeah. So when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the shekels.
No. Okay, fine. That's
Potato,
your turn.
potato, of silver to the Ishmaelites who took him to Egypt.
Now the other one is 36.
20 shekels. Shekels.
Meanwhile,
Whatever. Me personally, I think I'd be worth more. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Everybody is worth the same. Everybody is worth the same. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Exactly. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, 36. Genesis 38, 36. Without, actually not 38. 37, 36.
I have to stay humble.
Yep. Meanwhile, the Mennonites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar.
Potiphar.
Potiphar. One of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard.
The captain of the guard.
The captain of the guard. One of them, not the captain, that's one.
The captain of the guard. All right, we're going to go into section 5, Joseph in Potiphar's house. We already gave insight for the first point, and there's not really much more we can do. Section 5, Joseph in Potiphar's house. There's 3 points for this one, so we're going to start with the first one. Joseph gains favor in Potiphar's house. Genesis 39, 2 and 4, not 3 or 4.
I got it.
Big brain.
I got it. The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master.
Now I got 4. Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. You see, under God's, even through his suffering, God is with him, and he is helping him to ascend.
Perseverance video.
Perseverance, yep. I saw that video. That was actually pretty good.
Thank you. Hey, it was Scott. You gave me the word.
Yep.
It was not my thinking.
Yep.
Okay.
Second point. Potiphar's wife tempts Joseph. Genesis 39, 8 through 10. I'm going to read that. But he refused. Wait, I'm actually going to go back a bit and go back to 7, verse 7.
Yeah.
Because that's where it starts. And after a while, his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." But he refused. "With me in charge," he told her, "my master does not concern himself with anything in the house. Everything he owns, he has entrusted to my care. No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then could I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" And though he spoke to Joseph day after day, she and though she spoke to Joseph day after day, he refused to go to bed with her or even be with her. Yeah. Lust is a whole big thing. It's a whole big topic. We're not going to get into it because we're 18 minutes in.
I might do I might do my next series is talking about questions. So it's a Q&A series, like a whole series of a Q&A that one of my friends suggested me about.
All right.
It's going to be nice.
All right.
I will try to answer the best of my ability.
All right.
And of course, this guy's gonna help me with it as well. And God.
Whoa. If you want, of course, this guy's gonna help me.
If you want to.
I will help you. I would love to help. I love being on the channel.
You have your take.
I love being on the channel. All right.
I think you guys as well love him to be on the channel.
Yeah. Point 3. Joseph is falsely accused and imprisoned.
Dun dun dun.
Genesis 39, 11 through 12. You read that. You go ahead and read that.
One day he went into the house to attend to his duties, and none of the household servants was inside. She caught him by his cloak and said, "Come to bed with me." But he left his cloak in her hand and ran out of the house. That's
what you should do. When you see lust, flee from it. Don't fight it. Flee. Just run. Just run.
Find that thing, bro. It will knock you out, bro.
It is a sickness that will only get worse unless you use. I suggest using the object of replacement. Think about something else anytime you think something sinful. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you, bro. You saved my life. That's true. Genesis 39 through 20, which says, I'll read it. Joseph's master took him and put him, bro, my brain just tweaked out. Joseph's master took him and put him in prison, the place where the king's prisoners were confined. Bro. Anyways,
But well, Joseph.
the queen has prisoners, guys. I'm just kidding. Anyways, you think Potiphar actually could have killed him, because that's what you're supposed to do whenever you find out somebody your wife cheated on you with a man, or the man technically did that. Yeah. Back in the olden days, that's what happened. There was some cruel punishments, but they always ended up in death when it came to adultery. And but Potiphar didn't. You wanna know why? Because he probably knew his wife has done stuff like this before, and that Joseph didn't actually make the move, and she did, but he resisted. So he just threw him in jail instead, out of mercy, and also to keep his squeaky clean image, which I actually have some words on that. You shouldn't live to keep your like, if you're more worried about your repetition. Not repetition, but reputation. Yeah, reputation than your relationship with God, then again, you need to rethink.
It's all about him.
Rethink what you're focusing on. You should be focusing on your relationship with God more than your relationship with your reputation.
Repetition.
That's what I said. Next, we have, I think that's it for this one. So the next section, Section 6, Joseph in prison.
Again.
Yeah. Joseph is imprisoned.
I'll read 21 to
That's
20,
point 1. 30, yeah, Genesis 30. Chapter 39, verse 21 through 23. Thank you. Holy.
Joseph was there in the prison. The Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in the prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. The warden paid no attention to anything under Joseph's care,
because the Lord was
Joseph and gave him success in whatever he did. Put your trust in God.
When you're suffering, or when you're going through something and you don't know what to do, and if it's something you can't control, put your trust in God. Pray to God about it. That should be it. You should put that into a song. Put your trust in God.
No.
Wait, it is. It actually is. The I trust in God. Yeah, I can't remember. I trust in God. Yeah.
That's my song.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm a good singer, guys. I bet you didn't know that about me. Yeah. Anyways.
He's kind of mean.
Bro. Yo. Section 7, Joseph's rise. Wait, no. My bad. We're going back to Section 6 because we are not in Section 7 yet. Point 2, Joseph interrupts. He interrupts dreams for officials, guys. He's able to go inside people's dreams, guys.
No.
Anyways, Joseph interrupts. Oh my gosh. I'm going to tweak out, bro. Anyways, Joseph interprets dreams for officials. Genesis 48, which says,
40 to 8.
40, verse 8.
Yeah.
Thank you. So he asked Pharaoh's officials who were in custody with him in his master's house, why do you look so sad today? And they answered, we both had dreams. They answered, bruh.
What?
I put, never mind. But there is no one to interpret them. Not interrupt them, interpret, guys.
Then Joseph said to you said the next one. Joseph said to them, do not interpretations belong to God?
Yeah, tell me your dreams.
Yeah. You
Now.
interpret dreams with God's with the Holy Spirit. So actually, whoa.
If you don't, if you have a dream,
with God in mind.
if you have a dream that you think God sent you, about maybe a girl you like or a future job or
Nice
something,
example.
then then I thought you were joking for a second. Sorry. And then what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So just pray to God about it and read the Bible. That's what I would do.
Get close to Him.
Read the Bible. If you have a dream you don't know about, read a Bible. Just flip to a random verse. Like flip to a couple random pages. Like read some different random pages and maybe one will speak to you.
Maybe.
That's how I do it.
Maybe after going through the Bible, pray about it that God gives you guidance through the Holy Spirit.
Or maybe at church, God has done this with me several times. There's a service that speaks to you.
Yeah. There's always that one service that's like, it slaps.
Yeah. The entire service is for you.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's continue. Genesis 41:16. So let's go over here. No, we did Genesis 41:8, right?
Yeah, the 40.
Now we're doing what?
40:12.
Huh?
40:12. Yeah.
Oh wait, my bad. We're in section 6? Oh.
Yeah.
I was looking at section 7. Bro.
Yeah, we were just.
Anyways, Genesis. My bad. Genesis 40:12, which is on the next page.
Yes.
This is what it means, Joseph said to him. The 3 branches are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your position, and you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand, just as you used to do when you were his cupbearer.
Yeah.
And then, so he interpreted their dreams, basically. It was pretty nice. Now let's look at Genesis 40:12. Wait, we already did that. Now let's go to the second one. 3. Point 3.
The point 3.
The cupbearer forgets Joseph. Genesis 40, verse 23 says, crap. No, I was on the right page.
Do actually 14 first.
The chief cupbearer, however, did not remember Joseph. He forgot him.
Yeah, because 14 says, but when all goes well with you, remember me and show me kindness. Mention me to Pharaoh and get me out of this prison.
But what did he do? He forgot him.
It was for a reason though, because everything.
Yeah, it was for a reason. Because listen, Moses thought that right after coming out of Egypt, he saved the Hebrews. He was going to go into the promised land. Nope. 40 years in the desert. You see.
40 years?
Yep.
Oh, 40
he had 40 years in the desert. Yep, 40 years.
40 days?
Yeah. Oh, wait. No, it was 40
days. Yes.
It was 40 years.
No, 40 days.
What are you talking about?
It was. Hey guys, in the comments, it was 40 days or 40 years. It was 40.
I'm pretty sure it was 40 years because remember that prevented Moses from making it into the promised land. Because remember, Joshua ended up taking them into the promised land. Oh, he's looking it up now. He's looking it up now. He's looking it up now. We gotta find this out.
We got to find this out. It's not important, of course, but
Yeah.
When two Christians are contradicting each other, it's not good.
Yep, and we gotta figure this out. Was it Exodus?
Yeah, that's what Moses is.
Yeah.
Oh, fasting then. Exodus. Oh.
Brother.
It's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. You can continue.
Yeah, let's continue. Let's continue.
I tried to find it.
Yeah. The cupbearer. Yep. Section 7. Joseph's rise to power. Just search up Google.
Yeah.
Did Moses? How many years?
No, days. It's days.
How many years? Search up years first. Days. Fine.
No, Moses fasting. And then it says 40 days.
Man.
Yes, the Bible records that Moses fasted 40 days and 40 nights. 80.
I'm talking about like the 40 days, or the 40 years in the desert that they were sound in the desert. Because remember, they were disloyal. To
To God?
they're disloyal to God. That's what I'm talking about. Wilderness. See? The 40 years in the desert refers to the Israelites journey through the wilderness. What did I tell you?
So we were both right.
We were both right.
But it wasn't Moses, it was the Israelites.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Moses actually was with the Israelites. So
Either way.
because that's what prevented them from getting to the promised land. Anyways, now that we've solved that issue, and
Come back to what we were.
Yep. Section 7, Joseph rises to power. Holy. Point 1, Pharaoh's troubling dreams. Genesis 41 through 8, which says. 41 through 8, which says, in the morning his mind was troubled, so he sent for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but no one could interpret them for him. Not interrupt them. Not interrupt them, guys.
Yeah, interrupt them. But as well as the next one.
Yep, Genesis 41:16.
He says, I cannot do it.
Joseph replied to Pharaoh.
But God will give Pharaoh what he desires. So sometimes you have to just give it to God. You cannot do that.
Now we're going to move on to the second point. Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dreams. Genesis 41, verse 29 through 30.
29 30?
I'll read that.
Okay.
7 years of great abundance are coming through the land of Egypt, but 7 years of famine will follow them. Then all the abundance in Egypt will be forgotten, and the famine will ravage the land. Guys, this is the farthest we've ever gotten. Last time we ended at Genesis 41:8, so clapping. Anyways, now we're going to move on to the third point. No, wait, my bad. We're going to move on to Genesis 41, verse 33.
And now let Pharaoh, you want me to say it?
Yeah, you say it.
Okay. And now let Pharaoh look for a discerning and wise man and put him in charge of the land of Egypt.
Yep.
I wonder who that is.
Yep, he's looking for a wise man to put in charge of Egypt.
During those like hardship days, the 7 years. 7 years.
Actually, no. Yeah, we got to 41:33, and then it cut off. Remember?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So this third point, I think maybe is the farthest we've ever gotten. Third point, Joseph is promoted. Genesis 41 verse through 41. What percent is it at by the way?
Pretty good.
Well, that's actually good.
Yeah.
We have enough time.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Genesis 41 verse 41, which is actually right here. It says, so Pharaoh said to Joseph, I hereby put you in charge of the whole land of Egypt. And just like that, from prisoner to a king. Again.
Actually, a ruler.
Yep.
But you know.
A ruler.
You get it.
Yeah. He was second in the command of all Egypt. He might as well have been a king.
Yeah. Now, this another one.
46.
Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from Pharaoh's presence and traveled to Egypt. He was 30 years old.
Dang.
Wait, that's actually kind of crazy, though. 30 years old, right?
Yeah.
He became,
Egypt.
He's a king,
yeah,
right?
He's a king.
How old was Jesus when he got baptized? 30 years old.
Yeah. That's
when the Holy Spirit came too.
That's prophetic.
No, that's prophetic. Oh.
But for real though.
That's not a coincidence.
Angel, one thing though, just make sure to speak louder so that way they can hear you. Just in case.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yo. I just want to make sure they hear you. They hear the verses.
Yeah.
Because you get quiet on some parts though, so I was getting a little worried about that.
My bad, guys, if you didn't hear it.
It's fine. I made sure to let them know what was happening because I got you. I got you guys.
Thank you.
Section 8, Joseph's brothers tested and... Yeah. Brothers tested and restored. I'm making sure I don't skip points, guys.
Yeah, don't skip them.
Point 1, the brothers' first trip to Egypt. Genesis 42:7.
Okay, you do it.
Which is... Where is it? Oh, it starts right there. As soon as Joseph saw his brothers, he had recognized them, but he pretended to be a stranger and spoke harshly to them. Where do you come from? He asked. From the land of Canaan, they replied, to buy food. Now let's read the next verse. Genesis 42, verse 21.
I got it. They said to one another, surely we are being punished because of our brother. We saw how distressed he was when he pleaded with us for his life, but we would not listen. That's why this distress has come on us. So that's what they said. Because I'm pretty sure they recognized that Joseph was him.
They recognized they sinned and they felt guilt and shame.